Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to this game's tutorial. In this one we do a little bit more of UI, but it's not too long, so we're not spending too much time on UI. We actually implement the currencies, and also a health bar that does not work just yet, but it's going to work in the next one. So basically here are three main currency. These are the diamonds, these are the magic brick, and then this is the gold. So the way they work is fairly simple, is we keep them the same way we keep our stats, so they're pretty much just saving the registry. And we also implemented the fact that, oh, you can't buy a level if it costs too much. So this damage right now costs me 610 gold, and I only have 500. So I'm clicking here, and I'm not able to buy it. And we also get a feedback in the console.log, but we'll make it better soon. Now, if I buy, say, a range level, which is 323 gold, I actually get deduced the right amount, and the text updates. Now I can't buy another one because that's too expensive, but I can still buy, say, crit chance. Alright guys, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so we are back on our quest to fix the game we currently have. We got a few problems right here, and just before I start recording this video, I pretty much bumped my damage to level 200, and it does not go beyond that because we have a max skill level of 200. But that's not the point here, so I'm simply going to reset the thing. And what we're going to do in this episode is we're going to start implementing the currency. And the reason we're trying to implement the currency is so it costs something to level up, and we can have we can pretty much just test out our button, and then it spends money basically. And we also have some kind of display of the currency, then we can implement that in the drop a little bit later on. So right here I've got a fresh new game. All the stats are on 0, and we are going to go ahead and just implement the currency. Now the way we're going to implement the currency is we are going to do the exact same thing as we did for the stats. So let me just find the stat helper. We'll start by creating a enum. So we're going to have multiple currency. If you look at the preview, we have 3 main currency, and we have some more, we could call them sub-currencies, which are, you know, iron and all those kind of metals. But if we go here and we create a new public enum, we call this a currency, we are going to define our 3 main currencies. So first one is the gold. Let's do gold is equal to 0. The second one are the magic bricks, which are used for the more expensive and more rare stuff we buy. And finally the gems, the diamonds, which are the pay-to-win currency. So we've got those 3 mains. We're not gonna bother about putting the other one yet, but a little bit later on we'll just get and just type in iron ingot and all that kind of good stuff. But first, let's start with that. So inside of our stats helper, we now have an enum called currency. And we don't need to do anything else in the stats helper. I just put it here because that's where I put all that kind of stuff, I guess. I'm just grouping things at the right place. So we're gonna go in the tower script, so the tower, and we're gonna start saving this. So basically, over here, just below the public int array of tower stats, I'll create a public int array of currencies. Currencies like this. This one is going to be public set and get, so we can access it from other places as well using the public static instance. And now all we gotta do is go down inside the load local, I believe. Yep, here it is. So the load local function, and below our stats, where we load our stat, we are going to load our currency. So currency is equal to a new int array of enum get names. We're simply going to copy this, put it in here. And instead of getting the names of the stat array, we're getting the names of the currency array. Like so. And we're also going to just copy one of those lines. And since we only have 3 currency right now, let's just space it 3 times. Okay, so int, we're getting the, well, first, not the tower stats, it is the currencies, like this, with a capital C. Oops. At the index currency dot, and now we have different currencies, the first one being gold, second one is the magic brick, third one is the diamond, and we're simply doing a player pref dot get int at currency gold. Over here we'll do currency, magic brick, and finally currency diamond. Okay, so we're loading the stats. Now we actually need to save it at one point. So go down here in the save local, and we're gonna copy a line, paste it here. Player pref.setInt. We're setting the currency gold, and the amount is currencies at the index currency.gold. Alright, so fair bit of copy paste again this morning, but it's required, so we just do it. And diamond here. Also, don't forget to change those over here. I do it in a weird order, but just make sure that everything is filled properly. Okay, so to recap, we've created a new arrow that contains 3 currencies, and we're pretty much just loading them when the game starts, and we're also saving them when the game finish. Alright, let's actually start displaying them. Over here in the game, because I'll be displaying it in the game, of course, I've actually built this on my phone, and it looks... the game screen is actually bigger than I thought it would be, so we have more space than we think. So what I'm going to do is actually add some more stuff right about here. And what I am going to add is first off the health bar, so something we haven't tackled just yet, but we're going to tackle really soon. We're going to add a health bar and then the currencies. So I'm going to right click on the canvas, add a new image, add a new panel. And this panel is going to be anchored at the very bottom. Now, let's make sure it stretches, because I want the health bar to take the whole screen. So it stretches on the horizontal axis, maybe of height 30. Is 30 too small? Let's actually check it out. So I took it from down here, which is its pivot point, and I just bump it at 320 in my case, but you know, just above the UI. And I think that's a good size for the health bar. We could be putting it on, say, maybe 35. No, that's 30 is fine. Okay. And if you want to just give yourself a small marker real quick to just remember that this is a health bar, you can change the color for a red. And maybe bump up the alpha. Or green. Green sounds way more cool. Alright. So we've got the health bar. I'm going to just name it. And that's my panel for the health bar. Now I'm going to create another panel. Again, anchor it at the very bottom. Also make sure it stretches on the horizontal axis. This one is going to be a little bit bigger. Let's say 100. Is 100 too big? That's definitely too big. So maybe 75. Okay, so 75 is okay with me, and the reason it is okay is because I'm going to be using alpha in this one. We're simply going to be putting the currency on top of the actual screen. Now, I know I have a panel with a background, but this is going to go away at one point. So my position in Y is, I believe, 350. Now, we are ready to just type in that is the currency panel. We're ready to just start making our little section. So I'd like to display the 3 main currency all the time. And then for the currency tab over here, this button, then we'll have something else for the sub currency, with a nice place where you can actually sell or maybe even convert those currency into something else. Okay, so here it is. That is my panel. I'm going to add a nothing right now. I'm not going to add anything just yet. I'm going to make another panel inside of that. So pretty much we're like doing HTML right now. It's really boring stuff, but don't worry about this. At one point it's going to be over. I've pretty much just added another panel inside of this so I can actually have a look at what I am going to do. So let's just assume that a panel is going to be maybe 115 width, something like that. I need 3 of those. Yeah, let's just say it's 115 width. Doesn't matter, it's going to be rescaled in a moment, but let's just assume it's 150 in width. Then what I'd like to do is actually create a new text inside of that and say this is the gold text and this is the gold panel. Now the gold text it also needs something else. So inside of the gold panel, we're going to create a image, and that's going to be the gold image. Maybe make it like 50 by 50, I think that's fair. Anchor it on the right. At the very right of the panel, now the gold text is going to take the whole screen. So stretch on both axes, put everything on 0. And I'm going to actually just bump the right to 50, which is the size of the image. So if your image has a different size, then just make sure that you bump your right to this actual number. Alright, now center my text. Actually, not center my text, but I'll actually anchor it on the right as well and put it in the center. So say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold. It's actually going to look something like that. Should I do a best fit? Yeah, maybe a best fit is fine. So when we get bigger number, it actually scales down. And I don't think we'll ever have that much gold in the game, to be honest. So best fit would be fine. Let's change the color for a nice golden color. And yeah, I think that's actually going to cut it. Okay. Maybe give it a small margin on the gold text, margin of 2.5, so 52.5. Just to give it a small space in between the gold image. But we don't have the image just yet, so maybe the image is also going to have some alpha, and it's going to look great. And sorry about the plane, it's like, it's coming back and forth, it's kind of annoying. If you hear that noise or not. Right. Okay, so we've got our gold panel. I'm going to go ahead and just add a horizontal layout group on my currency, the one holding the whole thing, and duplicate my gold panel 2 more times. So this is what we get in the end. And the gold panel at the very end is the one I'd like to use. So say the gold is going to be at the bottom right. This one is the one I want to use. The one in the very left, on the very left, say this is going to be the pay to win currency, so the diamond panel. And the one in the middle will be the magic brick panel. Let me just remove the space here. And finally, gold panel is gold panel. Alright, so diamond, we can put the diamond text a different color. That we're gonna have less, of course, maybe like 25. Maybe put a nice cyan. Diamond image. And now magic brick text. That is going to be, and I'm not quite sure about the color of this one just yet. Definitely not purple. Maybe some kind of orange. But hey, that's going to be something we're going to be deciding a little bit later on. Magic brick image. Okay, so we've got our 3 nice things here. What I'd like to do now is actually remove the panel because I never really intended to have them in the first place. So here's what I do. I go on every single one of those and I click the image off, like so. Now the currency, I'm also going to remove the panel and it's going to look something like this. I might actually want to have some spacing in between of them, so maybe say 20. The more spacing I add, the more the smaller the font gets because it is on best fit right now. So maybe something like 30, and once we have icons, this is actually going to look a little bit smaller. But once you have that, you can actually play with the height. So I just reduce the height of this whole thing by 50, I mean by 25, which gives me 50 now. And yeah, I think that's actually fine. Okay, well, let's actually go ahead and update those. The way we're going to do this is fairly simple. We are going to go on the game UI, and the game UI is going to need some more fields. So let's create a public game object. Actually, public game object. No, never mind. Public text. Let's go with text. And should we do a text array or not? Let's go ahead and do the text array. Currencies text. So it is going to be public, so we can actually manually set it. And we're going to have a function down here that does just what we need. So public void update currency text. Well, let's do currencies. We're going to update all of them at the same time. So currency text at the index 0 dot text is going to equal the tower dot instance dot currencies at the index 0. Actually, should we do toString? Let's do toString. And now if we'd like to be really clean in our code, we could change that 0 for, say, int currency dot gold. We don't have to do it, but I'll just copy this so it's a little bit cleaner on my side. So currency at the index 1 and 2, this is diamond, if I remember correctly. Yep. No, never mind, that is a magic brick. That's the one in the center. And finally, diamond. Whenever we start the game, it's actually called this, so update currency text. And here we go. We should have everything we need. Of course, we need to go here in the currency text, set a size of 3, because we have 3 currency right now that we're pretty much displaying. And we're going to drag and drop the text for every single one of those. So I wonder if I just drag and drop the panel, does it work? Nope. So you got to go for the gold text first, because that's the one you set. The one at the index 0 should be the gold. If we just base ourselves on the code we wrote. The second one should be the magic brick, and the third one should be the diamond. So first one, gold. Second one, magic brick. And third one, diamond. Alright, let's have a look at this in the game. Hopefully it did not crash anything. So we've got 0, 0, 0, and everything seems to be working just fine. If we open up the registry and we cheat a little bit, let's first close this off so we have a save. There it is. We should now have currency diamond, gold, and magic brick. Let's give ourselves 500 gold. Let's also give ourselves, say, 12 magic brick and 3 diamonds. And I actually wrote it in hexadecimal, so it's going to be a little bit messy. 12, okay. Good, now if we boot the game again, we should have those stats displaying right here. 3 diamonds, 12 magic brick, and 500 gold. Okay. Alright, so the next step we want to take is actually make sure that whenever we buy something, we reduce the amount of gold and then we update the text. So where exactly do we do this? So where exactly do we buy these things? I don't quite remember. Let me just let me go check. Inside of the stat container. Okay, so here we go. Inside of the stat container, we're gonna be checking what is the price first, which I believe we do somewhere. How do we check for the price already? Oh, there it is. So get price. Stat is equal to stat.range. So if we have enough currency, stat is the actual stat linked to the button, so it says, okay, so let's first start by getting the price. Int price is equal to stat helper dot instance dot get price. We're getting the level. So what's the level of this? We're gonna do get level as well. So stats. Now we're gonna do the tower. Sorry. Dot instance dot tower stats at the index stat or int stat. Okay, that was a big line for just getting the price, but we're pretty much just getting the price of this level. And now what we're gonna do is actually check, do we have enough currency? So if the tower dot instance, oops, currencies at the index gold, so int currency gold is bigger or equal to price, then that means we have enough to buy, and we're just gonna put all of the rest of the function inside of here. Let's also make sure that we reduce the current currency we have right now. So the tower.instance.currency at the index gold, currency.gold minus equal price. Okay, else let's just say that we don't have enough. We're only going to make a debug.log right now, but if we don't have enough money, let's just write it down in debug.log. Don't have enough money. Sad face. Okay, now we're gonna find a way to actually call the game UI. And the game UI is something that should have been static, but it is not. So let's make it really quickly since it's fairly simple. Public static game UI instance set get, and in the start we do instance is equal to this. Okay, we're gonna be calling the update currency text function from the stat container. So as soon as we change this, as soon as we change the price, I mean the gold amount we currently have, let's have game UI dot instance dot update currency text. Cool. Let's hope that everything works. We are going to click on play. And you know what? Just quickly, I'm going to remove that debug.log because it's getting quite annoying. I'm actually going to put it in comment. And this one too. Okay, let's go ahead and just do it. Press play. We check. Okay, button. Here is our currency. We buy a... Oh, we don't have enough money to buy this. So let's buy a range level. The currency went down. Let's buy another one. Went down again. Let's buy another one. Oh, we can't because we don't have enough money. And that's going to be pretty much it, I believe, guys. So thanks all for watching. If you enjoyed this video or if you pretty much liked it, please give me a like. I really appreciate that, and I'm really grateful for it. And yeah, so if you have any question or comment, you make sure you leave them in the comment section below, and also subscribe for more tutorials like these. I will see you guys in the next one.